Hello, Staten Island. It's the Shaolin Phantom here, doing it for the island. And I want to go over the best written hip hop song I've heard from an underground artist in general, but specifically Staten Island. And that's The Curator by iNTeLL. And it's off of his Rap is Art EP. And I'm telling you, the first time I heard this song, it gave me the chills. And the way I heard this song was iNTeLL specifically had a personal Spotify account that I happened to stumble upon that he linked somewhere. I went on there and he had a playlist of the best of iNTeLL songs. And when this song played off of that playlist, I was floored, bro. I couldn't believe what I heard. It was just so great. The opening line all the way down to the closing line was just straight bars, bro. There was no hook on that song, but believe me, bro, this song did not need a hook. It was just straight rapping for a 4-minute continuous verse. The energy was high, consistent. He was focused on the subject matter. The punchline, just after punchline, he just kept your attention the whole entire song. There was no drop in the energy. There's no drop in the bars that you were just processing as he spit them. And the song, it just opens up with "Give me some of that good old love." Like he just uses that as a sample, and then he just has like this bong that's coming in between it. But then when the beat drops, he drops the best opening line I've ever heard on it. Maybe one of the best opening lines I've ever heard on a hip hop song. He just goes, "I'm the biggest hypocrite Staten Island has ever seen. I rap about making changes but only offer up dreams. Rhyming about violence is not silence and screams. Give Eric Garner his life or take the needles from fiends. But it seems like I'm a poet. Slogan is keep going. Everyone has opinions. Be quiet like Curator. Gotta create art, portfolio overflowing." And I'm telling you, dog, he just delivers it with that passion and just breaking it. There's so much substance in just that opening line. Like, I'm the biggest hypocrite Staten Island has seen. Like, he raps about Staten Island topics, but like he feels like he's a hypocrite because he does nothing about it. Because he's like, I rap about making changes but only offer up dreams. Like, I'm just only the inspiration for people to take action on certain social issues, such as him mentioning Eric Garner, which is, a tragic death of a Staten Islander due to police brutality. And then on the other hand, there's the other issue. Like, which issue do I go after? Is it the Eric Garner, bring him back to life, or do we address the opiate crisis that we have, especially in the South Shore of Staten Island, that a lot of people are affected by? And that line specifically was like the one that hit me. Like, oh, like damn, bro, like you just put everything Staten Island has just in these bars, like just saying so much with just so little. And but he just goes, but it seems like I'm a poet, so gonna just keep going. And he says everyone has opinions, and then be quiet like Croatone, like be quiet, because sometimes you speak on these topics, you just invite a lot of animosity, a lot of hatred, a lot of controversy that you want to avoid. And that's just my interpretation of what he said. Everybody could have their own interpretation of these lines, but that's just my interpretation of what iNTeLL said. And if iNTeLL, if it wants to come up and we have like a rap genius kind of bar for bar breakdown of the song, I don't mind doing that. And also the last line of this, he says, gotta create art, portfolio overflowing. Like, the guy has over 21 projects. And I asked him in my interview, like, where do I start with listening to your projects? Like, he gave me his freshman album, sophomore album, junior album, and a senior album he hasn't made yet, he said. And I've listened to all 3 of those projects. If you go into that interview and see what those projects are, and there are no regrets for listening to those projects. The portfolio is phenomenal, and I can make reviews on every one of those projects, but unfortunately we'll just be here till next year talking about it. Look at this. Like, I've been talking about just this opening line for the past 2 minutes. And I just want to go over some like the other lines throughout the songs that really stood out to me, and then I'll give you the closing line, which is also just phenomenal. It floored me. The way he just ended that track was just like the nail in the coffin, So this is one of those lines: graveyards of history are full of merciful men. And what he means by that is, like, if you look at some of the people that we remember throughout history, Napoleon, Julius Caesar, uh, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, like all these, sports icons, historical figures that we remember, they were all courageous. It's just like they didn't show no mercy to the enemies. Like George Washington took out the British. Martin Luther King is remembered for being a civil rights leader, and so that's why the graveyard history is filled with versatile men. Like people that didn't stand up, they're not remembered in history. And that's my interpretation of that line. And another line I have is, I'm the artist hip hop deserves but doesn't breathe. So if you look at modern hip hop, a criticism that we see is that there are a lot of artists that have no substance, no meaning, no lyricism per se. It's just all sound and vibes and production. And I agree with that. Like iNTeLL should be in a different league of his own, 100%. And then there's music is in my blood and I'm ready to freaking bleed. Like it literally is in his blood. When I talk to iNTeLL, like we talk about, he's on MTV's Family Legacy season 2, and he speaks about a U-God of the Wu-Tang Clan being his father, and it's literally in his DNA. Like that's where he gets his music side from, and then his mother, his creative side as well. So it's in his DNA literally, and however you want to argue it, like there's no like it's literal. It's not poetic what he said here. Like this is real facts. And then this other line, gotta keep them guessing, never do it expectedly. Gotta keep them guessing, never do it expectedly. And he just goes on with this like crazy rhyme scheme here. Like it's basically just don't let them know your next move. Just the way he delivered that he delivered it better than I just read it out to you. Phenomenal, bro. Chef's kiss. And then mentally at war with myself, I kill the competition. Like he's at war himself. Like how you say you're battling your inner thoughts. Like he said he was war himself, so he just killed the competition. It's like he killed like another split personality inside his mind. And I get that. Like sometimes, like I always say, like your worst enemy is yourself. Like your self doubt. Like it's always about mindset, and that's why I like that line, because it just speaks to my personality really. But this line, when he did this segment and everything that came in between it, and the background on the production, this shit was fire, bro. Devil knocked on my door with a proposition. God had that 9 to his mind in a cock position. And then you just hear a gunshot in the background, boom. And he says, these motherfucking demons all around me, hellhounds surround me. And you just have this Joker laugh in the background, like kind of supervillain laugh in the background. And he just goes on that, like I was like, ooh, just the imagery and the onomatopoeia in the background, like all this literary devices they teach you in poetry class. Like he used all that, bro. Like that shit fire. And I think the Hellhounds, I'm not sure if that's a Black Ops Zombies reference, but regardless, it's dope, bro. Like just the way like you kind of like put yourself in that situation, the way to live, it's fire, man. It's just no way to put it except for listening to it. And then this is just the coldest closing line I've heard on a hip hop song in Staten Island from like especially the underground scene, which is just, he says, the rich worry about bullies, my people worry about bullets. Like the rich people worry about bullies, suicide, like all these issues, but then like people who are less fortunate, like they worry about bullets, gun violence, like these issues. So it's like, it's kind of like saying like your issues are like first world problems, like you worried about like kind of like if you kind of think about like that Tyler Curator tweet where he's like, why you guys worried about cyberbullying? Just turn off the computer screen. That's like a first world problem, it's not a real issue. But then it's like, meanwhile, something like bullets, like getting shot at, that's physical. And iNTeLL as a child, he survived gun violence. Like he shot and nearly got paralyzed. So that's something that like that's not a joke. And so you guys let me know. You guys check the song out for yourself, because I swear to God, bro, this is not even an album review, and it's a 10-minute video just me breaking down the Curator by iNTeLL. I'm telling you, best Staten Island song, rap song of all time, without debate.